Listen, the lanterns are lighting up. The market is calling. Tonight, something magical is waiting for you in red gold. Close your eyes and open your imagination. It was the night of the famous enchanted Moonlit Market, and I was feeling very excited. It was held once a year and always on February 11th. I was still in my room saying goodbye to Midnight. And be a good girl, Midnight, I finished as I replaced my hairbrush on my dresser, having done my hair. Midnight purred back in answer, and I looked at the clock that was hung over my table. 10 minutes to 10 o'clock, it read. Ooh! I gave an excited gasp, patted Midnight goodnight, and hurried out of the room. On the doorway, I pulled on a coat as it was still cold in the nights. Then I opened my front door to meet the most enchanting sight ever. Little orange and red lanterns were hung over shops. The moonlight was lighting up the little dark street, and the sweet scent of jasmine and sandalwood wafted in the air. It was like looking down on a magical picture in a book and finding out that it was real. I thought I heard myself give a little gasp, as though trying to believe it was all true, that it was not just an imagination in my mind. Then I dreamily walked outside into the magical moonlit market. I started looking around, trying to see everything at the same time. Everywhere there was something dreamy and whimsical to look at. There were little jars of what looked like bright yellow liquid floating inside them, standing on the counter of a little shop. 2 elderly witches were sitting inside a little pub, drinking something that was pale blue and exchanging cards with symbols. And a group of green little goblins were sitting on toadstools, talking in small voices. Then I realized that I had spent 5 minutes of my hour at the Moonlit Market just staring at everything and everyone. Keen not to waste another second staring, I started to walk towards a little but bright shop that had caught my eye. The shop held what looked like pillows stuffed with soft magic wool that makes you go to sleep easily, and differently shaped necklaces that bring good luck to the owner, according to the sign, and more magical stuff. I was looking at jars of moonlight on little shelves at the back of the shop when I heard a shout of joy behind me. I turned around, curious, and saw Cassie, Rowena, and Morgana walking up to me, all of them carrying bags of goodies and wearing big smiles, while their eyes twinkled happily. Rowena! Hi, Cassie, Morgana! I greeted them enthusiastically as I hurried across to them, taking the jar of moonlight with me. We sat down at a cafe, ordered 4 drinks, and started showing each other what they had just bought from the market. Rowena had on her finger a beautiful ring with a diamond on it that protected their owners. It was quite beautiful, and after I had finished exclaiming over it, Morgana showed me a heavy book with a soft green leather cover that had 100 recipes in it. Wow, Morgana, this is so cool! 100 recipes, I said. Cassie had bought herself a jar containing sunlight, and just then the waiters brought the cherry drink, coffee, butterbeer, and a fizz whiz that caused sparks to go in your stomach. We all had our drinks, and then, after paying, went to join some witches and telling ghost stories. The rest of the evening passed pleasantly with storytelling. Then, when it was almost time to go home, I quickly went to a sweet shop called Tina's Sweet Treats. There were many yummy little treats there. The shelves held bottles of caramel toffees that exploded in your mouth, dishes of donuts with different types of icing on top of them, mint sticks that jumped around in your tummy, and many more sweets. I really couldn't choose one between the sweets. But I had to, so I closed my eyes and jabbed at something. When I opened them, I found out that my finger was pointing at the mint sticks. So I bought a couple of them, and being unable to resist a yummy-looking little heart-shaped chocolate with sprinkles, I also bought a little bat-shaped cookie to give to Midnight, and I set off back to my house, having said goodbye to my friends. I was soon in bed, thinking about the Moonlit Market this year. It had been quite magical. But of course, Red Gold was a magical village, I thought to myself. As I thought this, the moon seemed to glisten even brighter. The shadows of me and Midnight in the wall stirred by themselves, and I fell off to sleep. If you enjoyed visiting the Moonlit Market with me, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps. Share it with a friend who loves magical stories, and leave me a comment. What would you buy at Tina's Sweet Treats? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more adventures from Red Gold. Thank you for watching. Good night.